Prepare yourself for Earthling Entertainment, the perfect blend of paranormal and pop culture, with your host, Joe Wakefield and Ryan Lang.
Hello, and welcome to a very special bonus episode of Earthling Entertainment with your hosts, Joe Wakefield and Ryan Lang. Hi, I'm Joe Wakefield. So, guys, if you are returning listeners, thanks again for coming. It's a bonus episode, so it's going to be a little different, but hey, we appreciate it. Please hit that download button. Not sure if you're aware of this, but downloading our episode wherever you listen to the podcast is the best way to support the show. And if you are a new listener, all I'm going to say to you is, well, geez, what a weird episode for you to, start listening to. This is a bonus one. Come on, go to one of the numbered episodes. That's more of our normal formula, because what we do here is normally a little bit of the spooky, a little bit of the creepy. Sometimes it's cryptozoology, other times it's a haunting, a myth, or a legend, but it's always spooky. That, of course, is followed by disclosure discussion, which is all about aliens. After that, the second half of the show is pop culture and entertainment. Sometimes we have celebrity guests, other times we do quizzes, or we do audio dramas, or we have some kind of genre news, movies, video games, TV. That's what we cover in that second part. And then the two halves of the show, the beginning, which is the spooky, and the second part, which is pop culture, come together to form a delicious moon pie of a podcast known as Earthling Entertainment. But none of that really matters right now. Because instead, what we're doing today is a very special episode. That's why it's a bonus episode. We didn't number it for a reason, people. So, what you may or may not know is that Ryan and I, the Earthling Entertainment team, we're going to a convention in about 2.5 weeks. It's going to be the third annual Cryptids and Paranormal Conference, and that's Saturday, June 7th, 2025. If you want to go, Eventbrite is where you get your tickets. It's about $45. And it goes from about 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And because this is a, cryptid conference, I thought it would be a great idea of a little bit before we go to just cover our top 5. So these are the top 5 cryptids that Ryan and I have ever covered. We're going to do a fun list. But hey, guys, if you want to know more about the third annual Cryptids and Paranormal Conference, you can check out their website. It's going to be at Our House Banquet Facility, and it's 420 Adelphia Road, Farmingdale, New Jersey. And yeah, definitely check it out. But in the meantime, let's jump in. Here is Joe's number 1 pick. I shouldn't say number 1. It's actually my 5th pick. We're going to go backwards. We're going to go from least to greatest. So this is my number 5 pick for best cryptids we've ever covered on Earthling Entertainment. The squonk.
Oh man, I'm gonna try my best. It literally has like a scientific name. Lacrimocorpus dissolvens.
That sounds correct.
Which is the squonk, and it is a folkloric creature and fearsome critter, reputed to live in the hemlock forest of northern Pennsylvania. Legends of squonks originated in the late 19th century at the height of Pennsylvania's importance in the timber and hunting industry. The earliest known written account of squonks comes from a book by William T. Cox called Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods, with a few desert.
Hold on.
Desert. I said desert.
Hold on a sec. What was the name of that book?
It is called Fearsome Creatures of the Lumberwoods.
Oh my God, that is the coolest name for a book.
With a few desert and mountain beasts, which came out in 1910.
I wonder if I can get it on Amazon. Hold on.
Maybe.
No, you can keep reading. I'm going to look it up.
The legend holds that the creature's skin is ill-fitting, covered with warts, and that
it's kind of like that really wrinkly dog.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Where it's just kind of like just all wrinkles.
Yes.
Exactly.
And because it is ashamed of its appearance, it hides from plain sight and spends most of its time weeping.
I'm so ugly, and I just cry about it constantly.
Ugly. I feel you, Squonk. I feel you. Hunters who have tried catching squonks have found out that the creature is capable of dissolving completely into a pool of tears and bubbles when cornered.
Oh God.
Like he's just like, "Ah."
Yeah, can you imagine that? Like the tears pouring out of his eyes, and then the tears get bigger and bigger, like comically bigger, and then somehow it's kind of like he's shrinking, like he's like all the water's coming out of him, and then suddenly all that is there is the puddle.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, like I picture like the guy from the first X-Men when he just like puddled into
Into
turned
nothingness,
into
kind of,
water.
yeah, right?
That's kind of what I see.
And it's so weird. It's the creature is just like, I'm so ashamed of how I look. I just cry all the time. Like, hold on, that is an intelligent creature. Do you know how like smart you have to be self-aware enough to assume like I am not pretty?
Mother Nature was a total jerk to the squonk.
The squonk, like, I only know myself as ugly.
That's awful. Poor squonk.
Yeah.
This is for you, squonks. A man named J.P. Wentling is supposed to have coaxed the creature into a bag, which, when he carried it home, suddenly
Get the
lightened.
bag.
Suddenly lightened. Upon further inspection, he found that all that remained was the liquid remains of the sad animal.
That doesn't sound like he melted into tears. That sounded like you got like melted into like acid, like all the liquid remains. Like, oh my God, is it a bag of just visceral guts?
It's just like an extreme defense mechanism. It's just like, I'm gonna die anyway. Just
I mean, think about it, because it melting into tears would just be water, right? So would that just leak out of the bag? Did he have a plastic bag? I have questions about this bag.
yeah. I don't know. I mean, did he?
Maybe it was a tightly sewn leather sack.
Or maybe the squonk can just like it'll like reform later, like out of the moisture. It'll just like
Oh, that's what I assumed, right?
Yeah.
Because it doesn't say it kills them. Because if they were that depressed and thought that they were that ugly, that they cried all the time, if they could just melt and die, then wouldn't they just do that?
right. So in the 2015 version of Fearsome Creatures by Hal Johnson, the squonk is physically and actually a pig. It's covered in warts and has cauliflower ears covered in wax and hair. Its tusks are yellow and crooked, and its rheumy eyes weep constant tears. It has 4 legs, 3.5 if the right hind leg is transparent.
Wait, what?
What? It has 4 legs,
Yeah.
3.5 if the right hind leg is transparent.
Just like, well, I mean, they just say it like it's a hypothetical.
All right,
Because
so-
it'd be like, I have 10 toes, 11 if one of them is invisible.
I think Hal Johnson was one of those guys that just was a little extra.
All right.
Extra.
Yeah.
So its fearsome aspect is its contagious misery.
See, that is the only creepy part about this.
Yeah.
Can you imagine, like, you get close to a creature and you just get so depressed?
No.
Like crippling depression as you get close to this thing.
It's like going to SeaWorld.
Yes, or going to see your ex. Sorry.
So, the squonk.
Moving on.
The squonk. It lives in the Pocono Mountains of Pennsylvania. Jean Paul Wentling, Hal Johnson's arch nemesis,
Oh.
tried to catch one.
Oh my God! So there's a rivalry where another guy's like, you got a squanch, I'm gonna catch a squanch.
Dude, I love it.
Because no wonder. Because if maybe he just made shit up, he's like, I caught a jackalope. Catch one, you fucker.
The race for the squonk.
Oh my God, that is a movie we need to make, Ryan.
Yes.
We can get funding for the historical account of the. We should hit up Pennsylvania, man. The state might fund that shit.
And here's where we'll win. When we get it, we're gonna put it in Tupperware. We'll put it like in a plastic tub. That way, if he melts, we will have the remains. It won't go anywhere. That way,
Aha.
if he does reform later, we'll have him.
Not tightly sewn leather bags for us.
No, oh, sir.
Tupperware.
So, but like the squonk in Jean Paul Wentling's writing, Hal Johnson's arch nemesis, he tried to catch one, but like the squonk, he dissolved into tears and he died.
Wait,
So this
he
one
did?
says no. I'm going to see this one more time.
Yeah.
Jean Paul Wentling, Hal Johnson's arch nemesis, tried to catch one, but like the squonk, he dissolved into tears and died.
Oh my God, that guy.
So this man died?
The guy just turned into tears and died. He got too close, got really sad, and just liquefied?
The squonk's method of love
Wait,
and reproduction is binary fission. This took a huge leap in information.
All right.
It was just like, by the way, this dude's arch nemesis fucking died like a squonk. So maybe the other
maybe
guy
he was a
was
squonk the whole time, Ryan.
What if he just caught so the contagious is not just misery, but you become a squonk, like a werewolf.
I don't know if that's what they're saying, but now I'm scared.
I'm just tying shit together because there's missing information here, but I love it because that adds to the mystery. So, as it says, randomly, the squonk's method of love and reproduction is binary fission. The scientific name is Thuristus lacrimosus. Lacrimosus. Thank you. So that is what we have on the squonk
So,
of Pennsylvania.
The last two sentences were just like, this guy turned into tears and dies, and the squawk has this weird scientific name.
And it does reproduce.
And, everything reproduces. Otherwise, there's not more of. I mean,
Well, I'm
right?
just saying,
Unless
so it's
unless they're immortal.
right. Well, I mean,
That'd be
it's-
terrible if you hated yourself. You were so ugly that all you could do was cry, and you were immortal.
and like the phoenix, they rise from the tears.
So, yep, that is my pick. That is my number 5 pick. Did you enjoy it? I thought it was a lot of fun. I think it was a great way to start off this list, personally. And that's because it's unique and strange, you know? A lot of these cryptids are scary and monstrous, and that's good. That's fine. I enjoy that. But every once in a while, you want something that stands out. And a little sad, wrinkly creature that can cry itself into oblivion when threatened. It just warms my heart. I don't know. Maybe it's weird. I enjoy it though. And that is actually, we covered that in episode 54. If you guys want to go back and check out that episode, we also covered banshees. So it's a pretty good episode, very jam-packed. But hey, maybe you're not a fan of the squonk. Maybe you think that was a stupid number 5 pick. Well, why don't you tell me about it? You can email us at earthlingentertainmentpodcast@gmail.com or hit us up on Instagram or Facebook. And yeah, maybe we could have a conversation on the show. We'd love to. And without any further ado, let's just jump into my number 4 pick. Here we go.
Shreem, the buttock eye ghost folklore.
The butt ghost, or the butt eye, or the demon butt. Demon butt.
Here's everything you need to know about the folklore of Shreem, the buttock eye ghost. Venture into the bizarre and intriguing realm of Japanese folklore with Shreem, a peculiar spirit that startles with an eye where its butt should be.
Very startling.
This tale is a curious blend of humor and horror, showcasing the rich tapestry of mythical creatures that inhabit Japan's imaginative ghost stories.
Yeah, I will say that they are very imaginative. They have so many different demons and creatures and all these other things. And like this thing, come on, this is the scariest yet hilarious thing I've ever seen.
I don't want to see it. I'm okay with that. Having an eye on its butt.
An eye where its butthole should be, to be clear. Like it would have to spread to show you.
It would. The Shreem is a popular mythical creature in Japanese folklore that's known to be a yokai. A yokai is a group of mythical creatures that are prevalent across ancient Japanese myths, and yokai in the English language can mean monsters, demons, ghosts, and sometimes even shapeshifters are referred to as yokai in Japanese folklore.
Yep. Like I said, it encompasses pretty much all supernatural creatures, whether physical or metaphysical.
That's our thing. Since the yokai consist of different classes of demons or monsters, they can either be completely good or malevolently evil.
Okay, so which one is the butt eye?
I assume he's kind of chaotic.
He's just trying to be spooky. He's like, whoa, be afraid, butt eye.
Like, I see you.
Oh, God.
Oh, God. And it's
drops the soap and it's like, hello.
Didn't see that coming, did you?
Oh!
These yokai monsters also possess supernatural and mythical powers that can help them shapeshift, disappear, or even scare people using their power. Shirime, who's an infamous Japanese yokai, also possesses strange powers that let him scare the life out of people. The Japanese word shirime is written in kanji letters and it literally translates to buttocks eye in the English language.
But alone in the world is a little but
I can see you. I can see you.
You get the cat dog reference? Come
I
on,
do.
man. Late 90s Nickelodeon.
I do.
You know,
I do.
during that dark time, apparently, according to Quiet on the Set. Which we're not going to get too much into.
Oh, gosh. Yeah.
Because it's too heavy.
It's very...
But if you haven't seen that, it's on HBO. You should watch it. It'll destroy your childhood.
It really will. And thank God. Let's all do better. Let's do better.
Moving on. Back to a decent topic, which is this anus eye. My God. We need to be more professional, Ryan, when talking about butt eyes.
We do.
Oh my God, that thing must have pink eye all the time.
Yes, it would. I mean, that's if you're talking about like maybe it's very clean down there. Maybe it has
like there's not actually a rectum. It's just like eye follicles or whatever.
Might have a cloaca somewhere else.
He's a bird now? What the hell?
I don't know.
All right, let's talk about this butt eye more.
The shirime is said to have a huge eyeball placed in its butt. And this has got a lot of people wondering if there really is a demon like shirime. The kanji translation for shirime in English can also periodically mean looking down, which is understandable due to where its eyeball is placed on its butt.
Yes, exactly. It'd be kind of hard not to look down unless you're doing handstands all the time, which would be amazing to see a pantsless handstand with just this eyeball in the butt.
When you got an eyeball on your butt, you got to do what you got to do.
That's not even scary. That's amazing. I'm impressed. I want to see that.
It's kind of sad, the poor guy. We should just accept him for his butt eye. He doesn't have to work that hard.
But don't touch it.
Some schools of thought within Japanese folklore also believe shirime to be a weird animal who has the ability to shapeshift just so it can scare humans. Now that we know that the shirime is a demon, it's best we familiarize ourselves with the appearance of this crazy demon so that we can identify it in case we witness it someday.
Because you wouldn't be able to know immediately what you're looking at, apparently.
No. It could be someone else with a butt on their eye.
Yeah?
Eye on their butt. I did that backwards.
You did.
As we mentioned above, shirime is a demon-like creature that's believed to have a large eyeball on its backside. But what is its face and physique? What do they look like? That's the most intricate and intriguing part about this demon. I highly doubt that.
Yeah. No, you're telling me the eye coming out of his butt is not the most intriguing thing. That is ridiculous.
This shit better be good.
Yeah, like his face better be like just like all tentacles and like boils and just something really weird. Maybe two mouths and they both yodel and then he makes out with them.
While wearing lederhosen.
Yes.
In Japan. For some reason.
It could be a kilt.
It could be.
Just as unculturally like connected, you know.
Makes it even more scary. He's in a kilt. In Japanese folklore, it's mentioned that the shirime has the physique.
Hold on. If you were a kilt, though, it would be easier to show your eye.
I was going to say, it'd be easier to show your eyeball hole.
Maybe these things should move to Scotland.
They should.
Yeah. All right. We got to start an outreach program.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're going to help.
Shirime. We're going to get you out of that island and put you on well, it's a bigger island, but, you know, it's not all one place. It's fine.
Yep. Ditch the Camino and don a kilt.
Yes.
In Japanese folklore, it's mentioned that the shirime has the physique of a normal human being, and it wears a kimono to look more human from afar, which helps it to entice people. However, its face is completely blank. This means that the shirime has no face, no facial features, eyes, nose, lips, nothing. This particular fact about this demon makes it even more terrifying to think about. You might think how the shirime can see if it has no face. Well, it sees with its butt.
Clearly.
Well, it has a huge eyeball on its butt.
Yeah, that's how it sees. It's pretty simple.
So it wouldn't be impossible
No, he would just be acrobatic. He would be doing handstands. We talked about this.
Right. It says here, in the 18th century, a Japanese poet named Yosa Nobusen was very much intrigued by the myth of the shroom, and he began drawing paintings of shroom in his work. There's a famous story about shroom that's believed to have been written by Yosa himself. The story of the shroom involves a samurai who was walking late at night on the streets of Kyoto, and he heard someone call him. So it can make sound.
Hello.
Yoo-hoo.
I want to show you all my weird places.
I'm old Greg. Sorry. As the samurai turned to look, he saw a normal human being with a kimono, but the samurai was prepared with a sword to fight in case this person was a threat. As the man came close by, the samurai was bewildered to see the man didn't have any facial features.
That would be quite bewildering.
Before the samurai could move, the entity lifted its kimono up and turned around and bent over with its butt high up.
Hey, look at my ass.
The samurai saw a huge, bright, blinking eye in the butt that stared straight at him.
Peekaboo. That's my butthole.
As anyone would do at the moment, the samurai ran for his life. And this was said to be the first ever encounter a human had with the shroom, and there have been no other encounters reported since then.
Okay, I want to believe the story because it's so ridiculous, but it is kind of like suspect that literally only one guy ever saw it. Like, is it super rare? Or was that guy just drunk? Or like eating mushrooms out in the woods and he's like, oh man, butt demon.
Butt demon. I don't know, but I could go the rest of my life without seeing an eye in a butt.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm with you there.
But I'm sure that there's a porno out there somewhere where someone's got butt plug with an eyeball.
I don't want to get into that right now, but yes, I guarantee there is weird fetishes for everything. So there you go, my number 4 pick, the shroom. That has got to be the weirdest thing we've ever covered. I mean, you just listened to it, so I'm not going to re-explain what it is. But I remember I was looking for something to do for the show, and I'm checking out things online, and I saw this image, a drawing of the shroom, and this can't possibly be real. And did a little bit of research, looked around, and turned out it was real. It was an actual thing, and there's a story behind it. So we make this whole big episode. It was episode 31. And we sit down and we do it all about an hour and a half, hour, 45 minutes. And I realized that I never hit record. So that is why it's an 18-minute long episode titled, I Forgot to Hit Record. But that one you can check out if you want. But before then, let's jump into my number 3 pick.
The Wendigo. Most of this information we've gathered from mythology.net. In the depths of the forest, the wind begins to rush against the fragile tree branches. A shrieking howl can be heard. It starts as a bone-chilling moan and continues to rise in both power and terror until it climaxes in blood-curdling horror. A sense of dread consumes you as you realize you are not alone in these woods. But it is too late. The Wendigo has found you. The Wendigo is a product of Native American folklore and is a beast that is feared by all. This terrifying creature was known to have its biggest impact during the colder months.
Yeah, makes sense.
It is winter, famine, gluttony, and cannibalism incarnate. It is based in and around the East Coast forests of Canada, the Great Plains regions of the United States, and the Great Lakes regions of the United States and Canada.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure that means Michigan, man. We might run into a Wendigo at some point. You want to go camping in the winter?
I have gone camping multiple times in the winter. I haven't ran into one yet, thank God.
Well, yeah, I assume you'd be dead. I mean, that's kind of the whole point.
Right, you'd be dead.
Yeah.
It is often said to be a malevolent spirit, sometimes depicted as a creature with human-like characteristics. It has long limbs and is extremely thin, almost emaciated, due to its extreme hunger. Most of these creatures are said to be without hair, likely due to their extreme malnutrition.
They got the mange.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's an ugly Wendigo there.
It's an ugly Wendigo.
Get him some lotion.
There's a Wendigo.
A Wendigo.
A Wendigo.
I like that. That's good. Yeah.
It's said to have hands that are withered and bony. At the end of a Wendigo's fingers, there are sharp claws that are sharp enough to tear a person apart with a single touch.
Only $9.95.
What
Billy Mays.
What a... But wait, there's more. Its mouth is filled with needle-like teeth that are stained in a disgusting shade of yellow. They are powerful enough to tear through flesh and break apart bones without difficulty. The stench of a Wendigo's breath is overwhelming and filled with death and corruption. Their tongues are said to be a terrible blue.
They're very sad.
I don't know what that crayon color looks like.
Blue.
Terrible blue.
Terrible blue.
The mouth of the creature is always covered in blood, and tales claim that the lips of the creature's mouth are missing. It is said that the Wendigo eats its own lips because of its extreme hunger.
That's rough. That is not something you want to see.
Although a Wendigo is able to exist in this physical form, it is actually a spirit. Like many spirits, the Wendigo has the ability to become invisible, fly, become undetectable. It is said to invoke feelings of insatiable greed and hunger, the desire to cannibalize other humans, and the propensity to commit murder in those that fall under its influence.
Num 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 human.
The Wendigo is also said to have power over winter storms and weather events. Because of this, the creature is often associated with the harsh winters of the north. It is said that the angry Wendigo can cause the sky to darken, and extreme weather such as harsh winter winds, tornadoes, and blizzards. These conditions give it ideal hunting grounds and plentiful victims, both to satisfy its hunger and need to share its twisted desires.
Which is actually like a perfect horror scenario, right? Because you're cut off, it's the winter, there's lack of supplies, it's cold, so you're trapped, you feel isolated. So, whether this is a real thing or not, which, I'm just saying, it makes sense, right? It plays on all those fears of isolation and being alone. And, since it's cannibalism, obviously, your lack of supplies, which was a much bigger deal in history. It's not like they had fridges, but it was cold. They could just put everything outside. But then there's animals. Oh my God. We would die. We would die back then. I totally would believe that.
And this is Native American folklore. This shit is fucking dark.
Fair. Yeah, it is. It's a rough to go about it.
And it's old. Like it's that's what I like about these stories is how old this
legend, this creature is.
Yeah, this creature is.
If you want to explore more about the Wendigo, the Until Dawn, spoiler, but that game came out in 2015. But Until Dawn is a horror video game, and it turns out that the Wendigo is a big part of the narrative. It's pretty good. But anyways, we should probably get back to it. I just wanted to pause because this next bit is very interesting, and I wanted to have kind of like a little buffer between it and this.
Among other powers of the Wendigo, it is thought that the creature is able to cause an illness called Wendigo fever. This disease is thought to be one of the ways the Wendigo is able to obtain victims to eat. It is said to start with a strange and disturbing smell. The only one who can detect the foul smell is the infected person. When the victim falls asleep, they will be plagued with terrible nightmares that will cause them to wake up and weep from fear. When they wake, they will begin to feel a terrible burning sensation in their legs and feet, which causes them to run from their home shrieking. All of the victims will inevitably run into the woods, shedding their clothing as they go. These victims are never seen again and are assumed to have been eaten by the Wendigo.
Yeah, right? So it's like that whole section I thought was awesome.
We're going streaking!
But you know what it reminded me of is the Russian hikers that were in the middle of the tundra on the mountain when they just were found like mutilated, but they had run out of their tents, and we covered it a little bit ago, right?
That was one of the first episodes, I think.
Exactly. Well, I wish I knew exactly what that was called, but it's a very famous case if you look it up. But like that's what that sounded like. That sounded like Wendigo fever to me.
It kind of did,
right?
Now that you're mentioning it, oh, that's interesting. What it might have been. So we don't even know. What if the Wendigo have just they've migrated, so now they're in Russia.
Ancient history. The Wendigo used the land bridge of Alaska leading to Russia, and that is how the Wendigo is in Siberia at this time. I'm George Takei.
Walk to Asia.
Yeah.
I like it.
Let's do that. Oh my God. That was a great movie.
Yes, it was. Yes,
Chris Farley film.
Rest in peace, Chris Farley.
Yeah.
One of the most terrifying aspects of a Wendigo is its inability to be satisfied. A Wendigo is always hungry and can never be filled. It takes pleasure in the hunt for prey and the act of killing. But even after devouring the entirety of a human being, its hunger is not quenched. The Wendigo is a demon, but other Wendigos can be created from humans who have been corrupted with greed and the hunger for human flesh. These victims are often transformed into Wendigos themselves, often from the touch or possession of the beast, but only after they give in to their carnivorous desires.
Touch me, Wendigo. I want to be one of you.
Wake me up before your Wendigo go. Conventional medicine has a name for those believed that they have been possessed. Wendigo psychosis is a term given to people who experience some sort of psychological break that causes them to crave human flesh, even though they have access to other food supplies. After first tasting human flesh, victims of Wendigo psychosis are unable to eat any other food than that. They see themselves as an invincible man-eating monster that can't be satisfied by anything but eating other people. This illness was thought to occur when a person had been exposed to the malevolent spirit of the Wendigo and was feared more than death itself. In fact, it was considered to be better to kill oneself than to succumb to cannibalistic desires and risk of becoming a Wendigo. Those who choose to seek treatment were often fed large quantities of hot fat and grease in the hopes that these proteins would satisfy the victim's cravings. If the cravings couldn't be satisfied, the perceived Wendigos were executed.
Yeah, so it's if you're going to a mental hospital to be cured of this, you better hope you get fucking cured, I guess.
Yep, nope. I don't want to eat people no more. You can let me go.
Yeah, right? Like, no, dude, I'm fine. I'm fine. You know what's good? Chicken. I'm chicken. You know, I'm a chicken man now.
I feel like chicken tonight. It takes like a slight little bite out of the person at the on the way out the door.
Just a little bit. Just for a taste.
Just a taste.
Just a ton.
And don't mind my antlers. On the other hand, if these individuals have been turned into the mythical demon known as the Wendigo, then they will continue to exist as one until the spirit is exorcised or they are killed. However, as Wendigos have incredible strength and are able to move with extreme power, it is highly unlikely that a Wendigo could be killed. The Wendigo is extremely selective with those that it chooses to possess. Most often, the creature will only possess people who are starving or gluttonous, or who have a craving for human flesh before, or who are greedy and have tendencies to display their wealth openly. That explains Kanye West. Anyone who becomes possessed with a Wendigo spirit will become a Wendigo themselves, as the legend goes.
Dun, dun, dun.
How did that make me a gay Wendigo?
South Park reference, if anyone's wondering.
It's a ruthless and savage predator. It has heightened senses that allow it to tune into every inch of its hunting grounds, which often extend for many miles on end. Fact! Wendigos are very intelligent compared to other similar beasts and demons. They are hypersensitive and able to stay attuned to every inch of their territory. Its sense of sight, smell, and hearing are so impressive that it is able to track prey and know the exact movements of its target, even if it is many miles away.
Yeah, well, I mean, if it's in beast form, right? Because if it's in spirit form, it can just float around and disappear and teleport and do anything it freaking wants anyways.
And fly and
It is
shit.
the most horrifying thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, Jesus Christ, man, this thing can do anything.
You know, it doesn't really cover the fact is like if it goes into like a let's say a physical form, can it just go back and forth as much as it wants? You know, or is there a rule there? Is there like I don't know. Continue. I'm wondering because it's like. You know, what do you got to be more worried about? A Wendigo spirit floating around and possessing you? Or an actual Wendigo demon in physical form that's going to just rip you apart because num 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 num, you're delicious?
How do you final girl this shit, right? Like, how do you do it?
I don't know, Ryan! I don't know!
It enjoys taking its time before a kill. It will often stalk its prey for hours on end and will reveal its presence in small ways every so often in order to make its prey fearful.
Because it's a dick.
Yeah, that is a dick move. A person who is being stalked by a Wendigo will often feel a growing sense of dread that they are being watched or followed. The Wendigo is able to sense their fear and paranoia grow with each heartbeat. The terror of their victims is perhaps the only form of joy a Wendigo feels.
That's pretty evil.
It is said that the final warning a Wendigo will give before striking is to unleash a blood-curdling howl in the harsh winter winds. The warning does little to help the victims. By the time they hear it, it is already too late. There is little that can be done to hide from a Wendigo. In fact, many believe that hiding from a Wendigo is impossible. It is said that once the creature captures the scent of its prey, it will always know where that person travels, no matter how far they go.
Which is why I was saying, if you encountered one on your camping trip, you'd be dead. You'd just be dead.
So it's like, yeah, they put like what, an Apple AirPod on you, like the Wendigo's got his own kind of tracking system.
He's like,
Is the tracking beacon secure?
Haha.
We're taking a great risk, Vader. Sorry, Star Wars.
Yeah, it always finds its way in.
It's found its way.
Continue.
I find your lack of Wendigo disturbing. I'm sorry, I had nothing there. Okay, here we are. I've lost my place. Your home will not keep you safe from the reach of the Wendigo. There are many stories that document Wendigos who have managed to unlock a home from the outside and slaughter everyone inside. In these cases...
Just for funsies.
Here's Wendigo. The Wendigo usually proceeds to convert the home into its lair and will hibernate for months or even years until it is awakened by hunger and driven to eat more human flesh.
Once again, if you are interested in a Wendigo, there is a film called Antlers, and it examines the whole Wendigo following someone home and kind of turning it into their lair. It's a very good film, and that's it. I just like it. It's about the Wendigo. It's called Antlers. Check it out. Came out like a year ago.
Lesser known aspect of the Wendigo legend is that with every victim these new monsters devour, they grow proportionately in size. It is said that they have the ability to grow to a size that is unfathomable by the human mind, and that the sight of a Wendigo who has devoured many souls is enough to make the human heart freeze in terror. Although a Wendigo is a fearsome opponent, they are not impossible to defeat. It is said that there are several measures that can be taken to protect oneself against a Wendigo. According to the legend, Wendigos will do everything in their power to avoid fire. They can be burned by it, but their wounds will heal quickly. It can be dissuaded with objects that have been charmed with protective spells.
Yeah, that makes sense. Most evil things can, right?
Yeah, like
that's the whole cross aspect of like vampires, you know.
Yeah, a trinket.
Yeah.
Finally, it is said that silver is the only type of weapon that can seriously hurt a Wendigo. It can be killed with a weapon made of pure silver if it is driven through the creature's heart of ice. Once this has been done, the shards of the creature's heart must be placed in a silver box and buried in a consecrated consecrated ground. Next, the body must be dismembered with a silver weapon, slated, and cremated. The ashes must be scattered to the four winds. Failure to properly follow this procedure will result in the resurrection of the creature and a bloody vengeance.
Okay, so that's the only part of this that makes me think there might be something to it, right? Because that was very specific. They're like, no, this is how you get rid of it, guys. If you don't do this, I don't know.
And this has to be an old ass story because it's like how long did it take until they came up with that? And they're like, it worked. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Because you'd have to try a lot of things.
It's like, man, did you write that down?
Yeah.
did you wrait down what we did? You got that? All
Holy
right.
crap, guys! We've been trying to figure this out for years.
Man.
Write it down in the cave.
So another thing that kind of gets me is this is Native American folklore, and silver destroys it. Now I want to. It kind of makes me wonder, where did like werewolves and come from, and stuff, because silver that's how you kill a werewolf, they say.
Well, silver's always been considered like a pure metal that will like vanquish evil, and we'll look it up, but I don't know offhand, man. But you're right.
Makes you wonder, like, because if it's like different, like if werewolves are started somewhere else, and so it's just like it's kind of coincidental, if you ask me.
I assume Europe somewhere, but I actually don't know where the mythology of werewolves actually started from, because it could be many different places. Because the idea of a half human, half animal creature, especially a wolf, which was a predator who preyed upon a lot of people in history, it just feels like that's like. It's kind of like the telephone was Alexander Graham Bell, but then someone else patented a different version of the telephone, like within the exact same like week or month or something like that. It happens, right? So was the werewolf, did it originate somewhere? Or was there just many different cultures going like, yeah, wolf people?
Well, and now we know, of course, we have all the proof that it was extraterrestrials who were making human alien animal hybrids. We've seen it all the time. We see it in Egyptian, with like the half bird.
Yeah, I always love that theory, right? That's why all the pictures have like the crossbreeds.
Right.
Somewhere there's a turtle man in space.
Well, and we're all, in my opinion, the product of accelerated evolution by extraterrestrials. That's my opinion.
Yeah, that is definitely a common theory. I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't throw it off the table. Because basically that's the whole missing link thing, right? Like there was monkey people, and then suddenly there was an evolutionary jump, and we have humans. And a lot of religions stand behind like, okay, that's why evolution isn't real, and it's creationism. Excuse me, I might actually have that pronunciation wrong.
Yeah.
Anyways, the point is, so a lot of people are like, all right, aliens showed up, put their DNA with monkey people, boom, us. That's why there's no missing link. Bam.
Dude, we share 98% of our DNA with chimpanzees. That's so mind-boggling to me that it's just like that. And there's still chimpanzees.
Yeah. So like what branched off to where our chimpanzee people developed and changed so much so quickly?
Aliens.
But to be fair, we also have a lot to do with genetically, we have a lot to do with a pig too. So,
Yeah, and so let me get back to the Wendigo. So what if,
All right.
So what if the Wendigo was an example of a animal-human hybrid, some kind of either creation by nature or by extraterrestrials or whatever that just went wrong? And the sight of like some crazy lanky dude with frickin' antlers and shit would scare the fuck out of you. So telephone game happens and all these, it can do all these things, it can fly. What if it's just some poor wretch?
I don't know, man. It's like, because it's like, if you want to say it's some kind of animal hybrid, then there are a lot of pictures where it has elongated skull as a head and it has antlers. So it's like, I can see some animal stuff, but then a lot of these characteristics are just so out there and different, and it taking spirit form and stuff like that. To me, that's more supernatural than like living creature. But wouldn't it be awesome if they were just like, I don't know, they could teleport? Like why would a physical creature, if they were a hybrid like you're saying, how would you account for the supernatural aspect? Is that part just superstition? Yep. So anyways, man, Wendigos, bro. So there you go, the number 3 pick, the Wendigo. And wow, that is just a flashback, because that's all the way back from episode 10. Episode 10! obviously we got better at recording since then. Audio is a little rough, which means I think in the future we could revisit the Wendigo. We'll have a sequel. We'll be like Wendigo 2, even Wendigoier, just to be real weird about it. But until then, why don't we jump into our next cryptid? Here is our number 2 pick.
The Papabawa. The Papabawa is an evil spirit or Shetani that thrives on the island of Pemba near Tanzania in Africa, and it has caused mass panic over the years.
And we're going to tell you why.
And let me tell you guys, strap in for this one. I was halfway through learning about this cryptid before I just
It took a left turn.
took a hard left turn. So let's do this together. I want to take you guys on the ride that I took. The Papabawa is said to be a bat-like creature with one eye.
That's right, a Cyclops gargoyle. That's what we're dealing with.
That's exactly what it looks like. It is said to be medium-sized and has leathery skin. In Swahili, the Papabawa's name means batwing. The name is said to have originated as a description of the dark shadow cast by the spirit when it attacks at night. It does not refer to the actual form of the spirit, which is supposedly liable to change.
Yeah, a lot of shape-shifting cryptids. But
lot of that.
I'm not going to focus on the shape-shifting. What I want to say is, why is he making a dark shadow when he's attacking people at night?
I mean, the
Not
moon.
during the day. The moon?
The moon.
Must be a really bright moon, man.
Sometimes it's bright.
All right.
Swahili speakers also use a plural form of the name Mapapabawa.
And I just like the name of that. I just like that word. It's just fun to say.
Mapapabawa.
My Papa Bower. It's
Like,
you know,
it does. It sounds like a
"I've got the
jingle.
power."
That was it. That was it. That was where my head went. Yes.
Woo, my
Yes.
Papa Bower.
To refer to multiple manifestations of the feared spirit. That's in my head for
the rest of it.
That's going to be a while. This plural
I
is...
wish we could name the episode that, but no one's gonna get it because it's just gonna be the name.
Yep.
You can't like add music to a title.
This plural is anglicized as Papabawas.
My
It-
Papa Bower.
Oh my god, right, dude? That's in my head the rest of the day now. It is sometimes associated with the presence of a sulfurous odor.
Them bitches stink.
They stink. I mean, right? I mean, that's the thing of sulfur, the burning of sulfur. It's always like with evil, right?
Well, see, that's
like,
the thing because you're looking at it and it's like a one-eyed gargoyle, and now it smells like sulfur. How do you tell people that you're not a demon? Like that is a PR nightmare.
It is. I mean, it's really hard for the Papabawa's agent.
There was this sci-fi book that was later turned into a sci-fi miniseries, and it was called, oh God, I forget what it was called. But the point is, At Children's End, or like At Children's End.
Okay.
And basically the aliens, they show up and they start doing all this nice stuff for us. And then they're like, okay, guys, we're not going to show you the way we look. And they do all these nice things. And then finally they're like, all right, guys, now that you finally trust us, I don't want to blow your hair back, but we're red and we have horns and a spike tail.
Oh.
Yeah. And it's like, they look like devils. And then it's the whole theory of just, did our ancestors instinctively know this would be the form of evil and all this other stuff? So I'm just saying.
What was that from?
Children's End or Childhood's End. It's a sci-fi book. But the point I'm trying to make is, as a Papabawa, if you're already looking like a one-eyed gargoyle, it sucks that you smell like sulfur too. You're just getting a bad rap. People just immediately think, oh, hellspawn.
Yeah. I was gonna say I seen that one, the South Park episode where it was the giant taco that poops ice cream. The alien went into a form that they could understand, and they're like, no, you don't have to do that. And he's just like, just like became this giant monster. And they're just like, okay, how about a giant taco that poops ice cream? And they're like, that's good. Good.
You do. That was referencing Contact, buddy.
I'm just saying. Oh, that was.
Yeah, that was
right.
referencing Contact, not Childhood's End.
Well, either way, it was close. It was close. The alien went to what, they wanted to see, Just saying. It was close. So, back to the Papabawa. The Papabawa attacks men, women, and children.
Indiscriminate jerk, that one.
And may attack all of the members of a household before passing on to another house in the neighborhood. Its nocturnal attacks can consist of simple physical assault, and or poltergeist-like phenomena.
Yeah, so might walk in the door, smack you in the face, or just kind of like hide around while he shoots plates around moves a chair. Simple, innocent shenanigans.
And here's where it takes that hard left turn. Everybody ready? But most feared is the sexual assault and the sodomizing of adult men and women.
Oh no.
Victims are urged to tell others that they have been assaulted
What?
and are now prone to repeated visits by the Papabawa if they do not. So they have to tell everyone all the time, or he'll be like, I'm coming back.
Well, that's horrifying, but also prone to repeated visits. That reminds me of like the abductee phenomenon, right? Where you're abducted by aliens and then you keep getting abducted by aliens for the rest of your life. Maybe you put a tracker or whatever in you. So this feels like the worst version of that.
It definitely is the worst version of that. Villagers maintain that the Papabawa becomes enraged if his existence is denied. Papabawa allegedly spoke to a group of villagers in Pemba through a girl possessed by the monster in 1971. The girl, called Fatuma, spoke in a man's deep voice.
Hey guys, if I visit you in the night, you better tell your neighbors.
You better tell everyone.
If you don't tell people, I'm coming back.
No problem. Oh my God, the Pembawa exists.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're not expecting that kind of situation, it's not something you're looking for. You probably don't want it to happen again.
I mean, for God's sake, I would hope not. You know what I mean? Well, I mean, unless you're into that sort of thing. But I'm just saying, maybe you're not really into one-eyed gargoyle-looking bat.
Yeah, it's true. Every gay friend I've had has standards, and they did not want to fuck a bat cyclops. I'm just saying.
Not a one. So the Papabawa.
Hold on. To be fair, I don't want to kink shame. If there is somebody out there who's totally into gargoyles,
100%,
more power to you. And I say send the videos.
There's gargoyle porn out there from like the original like gargoyles freaking thing.
Were you talking about the cartoon? The
yes,
Disney cartoon?
There's gargoyles.
I've seen it, so I know that. Yeah, so there absolutely is. Dude, AI has got ridiculous. Anything that existed cartoon-wise or show-wise has been put into an AI filter, and somebody's wrote, now make him have sex.
Just the fact that Joe's just he didn't miss a fucking beat. Like there's.
It's not hard to find. You're going on there, just look, cartoon butt.
All right. Well, learning stuff about each other. The Papabawa is also a shapeshifter and is described as taking different forms, not just that of a bat. It can take either human or animal form and transform from one into the other.
So you're telling me that maybe it was just some dude running around and they're like, no, it was just being a creep? Or I don't know.
I am the night.
I question Batman's motives now.
Oh, no. Well, Batman did have two eyes. We got that.
Where's the trigger?
I never knew. Fuck. The Papabawa typically visits homesteads at night, but has also been seen in the daytime. So he's not a vampire.
I hope when he's seen in the daytime, though, he's just a straight up bat guy walking down the street, like without shame. And he, like, at night, he'll disguise himself as a normal human.
Like completely opposite.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
This freak walking into town getting groceries.
He's like, I do what I want. He's just staring at people and he's like, you know what happened. And so do your neighbors because I made you tell.
My God. So, the Me Too movement of Papabawa, much like vampires of Europe, the Papabawa who can take the appearance of an ordinary man during the day.
Okay, see, this sounds like there might have just been a bunch of rapists running
This is
around.
what's worrisome. Like I said, but this was like a big thing. Like I said, I tell you people, I did not stumble upon this until I was halfway done with this.
I just wish our last episode wasn't leprechauns and butt phones. People are going to think there's a weird theme. For those of you joining us for the first time, this is not a weird theme.
It is not. This is complete happenstance. I swear to God. We were on the phone when I was working on this. I'm like, oh, dude, I found this thing, Papabawa. Oh, it's great. And I was already
Apparently,
halfway
after
done.
we hung up the phone.
I was like, oh my God.
Because let me tell you, I did not know about this until this morning when we were transcripting the show notes.
Yep. So I'll just jump right back in. So the Papa Bawa, who can take the appearance of an ordinary man during the day,
Sup, I'm Larry.
sup, Larry, is said to be a bat-like creature that enters your home at night. The Papa Bawa has a fearsome appearance, having only one eye, large bat wings, and a massive phallus.
It actually says that?
Yes.
Oh my God, continue.
But
To make insult to injury,
he is
he
hung.
is size 17.
But he's going to be very popular. But what makes the Papa Bawa far more disturbing than that of vampires, for rather than wanting to suck your blood, the Papa Bawa reportedly has a different and far more unpleasant appetite to, you know what, everyone in a household it invades. Oh my gosh. And it is said to return every night unless the victim tells people that they know that the Papa Bawa has done what it's done.
Yeah, and you know what else is? It also said earlier that sometimes it'll go through a whole house and then move to the next house. So all I could say is, what is this guy eating? Because he has stamina.
I mean, you know what? If you got to give that.
Yeah,
Got to give him that.
If nothing else.
The spirit is willing, but the flesh is bruised. Zap Brannigan. Anyways, during Papa Bawa panics, which have happened throughout
can
the
you
years.
imagine if the entire community is worried about a bat creature breaking in and assaulting you?
My God,
That would be panic.
We had panics about books.
Yeah, it's like in the United States in the 80s, the AIDS panic was the big scary thing. But no, these people were afraid of gay people. So instead of the AIDS panic, they were like, hey, bat creatures.
I mean, good Lord. Like the top of all tops. So
It does. That seems just like we're really afraid of it. Like they're like it seems very homophobic.
It's wild. This is such a weird creature. Like I said, that's why I'm like, F it. I've never heard of this. So we're all going on the same ride together, everybody. Like, I hope you're still strapped in. Don't unbuckle until the ride has come to a complete stop.
Yes. But the Papa Bawa, he's going to strap on.
He is. So during Papa Bawa panics, many people try to guard against attack by spending the night awake, of course, outside of their houses, often huddled around and open fire with other family members and neighbors. Panics occur most often in Zanzibar, throughout the island of Pemba, and in the north and west of Unguja of Zanzibar, the Zanzibar Islands, including Zanzibar town. Episodes have also been reported in Dar es Salaam and other towns on the mainland coast of Tanzania. This evil spirit or Shetani is believed by residents to have first appeared on the Tanzanian island of Pemba in 1995. It was the focus of a major outbreak of mass hysteria and panic, which spread from Pemba to Unguja and the main island of Zanzibar archipelago. I was going to say, I wrote that out for myself because that's a hard one. Archipelago, which means a multitude of islands.
It does, yes.
And across to Dar es Salaam and other urban centers on the East African coast. So this was a huge, huge deal.
Yeah.
Like it literally spread panic. I mean, how couldn't it?
Okay, but just follow me here. If Christian Bale's version of Batman is real, and the first one that came out was Batman Begins in 2005, earlier when he's training as Batman, it could have been 1995. Therefore, he could have
With
taken
Ra's al Ghul?
Yeah, so maybe he took a sabbatical to this island I'm just saying, Ryan.
Where are they? Oh my God. So sightings of the Papa Bawa only go back about 60 years. The first reports date back to 1965 on the island of Pemba, appearing shortly after that island's political revolution. Reports of Papa Bawa attacks rise and fall with the election cycle in Zanzibar, although victims argue Papa Bawa is apolitical. Papa Bawa reports rose dramatically relatively recently in 1995. As aforementioned, a further surge of attacks were reported in Dar es Salaam in 2007. So that's fairly recent. One explanation put forth for the election cycle connection is the claim that the Papabawa is a vengeful ghost of the assassinated president Abid Karum.
Who was also known for breaking into people's houses.
Evidently so.
I'm
Maybe that's the reason why he was assassinated. Allegedly.
That is obviously not the case, but could you imagine if we looked it up and that was like...
Or was summoned by the Kama Ka Mapinduzi political party. So people are straight up being like, you summoned...
Kama, what was that?
It's hard. It's really hard. Kama Ka Mapinduzi, I believe, is how you're supposed. Because the CH, I think, is Ka. So Kama Ka Mapinduzi political party of the yeah. So and they're like literally accused. You summoned a Mapabawa.
Can you? Okay, so all the things we've heard different political parties accuse each other of, that one takes the cake. Yeah. Of just, you summoned a demon who's going around sodomizing everybody. Like, come on, man. You could have got a demon that would, I don't know, pluck out eyeballs, another demon who maybe sets you on fire, you're like, kicks your dog. But no,
it's like,
you got the demon who's sodomizing everybody.
That is a serious allegation, sir. That is a very, very serious allegation.
How do you combat that? Be like,
well, how do you explain all these people running around saying that, you know, they've encountered this creature in certain ways? You know? I mean, there's a lot of people running around saying it. That is one heck of a way to support your party. My Papabawas. I'm just saying. Let's go ahead and jump right back in. So there is actually a different popular origin story of the Papabawa that proposes that in the 1960s, an angry sheik released a jinn to take vengeance on his neighbors. The sheik lost control of the jinn, who took demonic ways, becoming the transmutating one-eyed bat predator. So that's his origin story there. I mean, so I can see that.
All
so
right.
just kind of lost control of a jinn who was like, I'm going to go a different route. Some people... You know, some genies like to go into lamps.
Yeah.
You know what I'm going to do? You know what I'm going to do?
Robert Williams might want to sing around and like hang out with a guy and a monkey, but what I'm going to do, make that guy my monkey.
Never had a friend like me.
Oh no.
Oh.
Wa-da-da.
Oh,
Run. If you're not looking for it, it's pretty bad.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe it. I'm losing to a rug.
Oh.
So, the Papabawa has been seen. Has seen a recent has seen a recent reference
Has
in
seen a reefer reference?
reefer reference. No, a recent reference in 2022. The Papabawa and his sexual proclivities are retold in great detail in the Hammer of Zanzibar segment of Satanic Hispanics, which is my favorite show.
What?
I honestly don't even know, but literally that was like I was looking for like anything that recently,
would
and
be
that
pop
was
culture.
that was the most recent one. And I mean, there you go. So if you there is one person out there who's like, yes.
My Papabawa. I think I've been doing that for weeks, ever since we did that episode. Now, my Papabawa, that came from episode 79, so one of the more recent ones. I had to pick it, though, because, like we talked about in the segment, this one completely caught me off guard, because, one, I never heard of it before, but then the nature of the beast is shocking, to say the least. Shocking. And now I'm going to jump into our final pick, our number one choice. I keep saying my number one. I didn't consult Ryan, so truthfully, this whole list is Joe's picks for the top cryptids that they've ever covered. But that being said, here is my number one pick for ultimate cryptid that we've covered. This one scared the crap out of me.
The Naclavi. The Naclavi comes from Scottish folklore and is sometimes called the Devil of the Sea. It is a demonic creature from Orcadian, that is, the Orkney Isles of northern Scotland. Its head is similar to that of a man, only 10 times larger. It has an incredibly wide mouth that juts out like a pig's snout, and a single red eye that burns with a red flame. Hairless, the Naclavi's body is also skinless, its entire surface appearing like raw and living flesh. It is said that its thick, black blood can be seen coursing through its veins, as the muscles writhe with every movement the monster makes. Its long, ape-like arms hung down to the ground from its gaping mouth spewed a foul, black reek.
Well, god damn it.
You'd hate to see it, you know? You hate to see it.
That's pretty much like, oh, imagine a nightmare.
Like, I think I would just die from a heart attack from seeing that fucking thing.
All right, so Scottish demon.
So yes, it's apparently a Scottish demon. Is what? Yeah. This is
sea creature.
This is pieced together, by the way, by our one and only Joe. This was it was much folklore to put together than could possibly be found in one article online. But you can find it right here on Earthling Entertainment. We're gonna have to start like posting stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna start linking some articles on our Facebook page.
Yeah, like, and you could even like upload this because you put a lot together here.
Well, we'll see. In any case, let's continue.
All right.
About the Naclavi, or what's it called?
Naclavi.
The Naclavi.
The Naclavi supposedly takes a different form when it is in the sea. Although no surviving tales account for what that form looks like, either way, it's definitely not a pleasant sight to encounter on a lonely stretch of coastline. Some believe the Naclavi are a part of the fair folk, but all agree they're creatures of sheer evil. Its sole purpose is to plague the islanders. The Naclavi are the most malevolent of the demons in and around the Scottish islands. So there's other ones.
Apparently. Yeah. I mean, to be fair, all folklore, all mythology, you got to have a couple, right? You can't just have one devil. Looking at you, Christianity.
Simply put, it has no redeeming characteristics whatsoever. The monster was often blamed for disasters that were known to afflict the hard-working folk of Orkney. If crops were blighted by sea gust or mildew, if livestock fell over high rocks that skirt the shores, or if an epidemic raged among men or among the lower animals, Naclavi was the cause of all. Its breath is venom, falling like a blight on vegetables, and with deadly disease on animal life.
God damn Naclavi! You gotta always come here making my vegetables all black and dying, rotten.
Naclavi got my crops as well.
Yeah, see, I didn't even try to do a Scottish accent. I don't think you did either, but I mean...
Nah, I did a southern one. We should just start blaming the Naclavi.
Oh, man, I watched Brave. I can do it.
Oh, all right.
No, I'm kidding. I'm not gonna...
Okay.
Anyways, horrible Naclavi. Continue.
Just in case all that misery isn't enough, the Naclavi was also blamed for any droughts that could seriously ruin a harvest. Clearly, the old Orcadians regarded the Naclavi as an incredibly powerful and dangerous creature.
Yeah.
The old practice of burning gathered seaweed to help kelp and fertilize the crops was said to really piss off the Naclavi. The creature can't stand the smell of the pungent smoke. It drives the demon into a diabolical rage. Despite the fact its name means Devil of the Sea, it's only when the Naclavi is ashore that it spreads its terror. During the summer, it's held back by the sea mither, or Mither of the Sea. Mither of the Sea Witch, is a mythical being.
No, I think it's Mither of the Sea Witch is a mythical being, not like saying she's a sea witch, right?
Gotcha. Yeah, well, it's spelt like witch.
Well,
like,
then I guess it's a sea witch. I don't know.
That's what I thought. That's why I thought the period was misplaced. Is a mythical being of Orcadian folklore that lives in the sea during summer. When she confines the demonic force to the ocean depths until her strength wanes, with the spread of autumn. That's when the evil Naklavi is free to once again come ashore.
Oh, well, shit.
So in the simplest terms, the Naklavi is a sea creature and is intolerant of fresh water. The only known way to escape from it is to cross or enter a stream, river, or lake. Notably, it also will not come ashore when it is raining.
So that's good. But hold on. So this next thing is, all right, so this was a quote that I found, but I could not find who wrote it. So I don't know if this is an actual eyewitness or if this is a artist's creative license, recounting like a tale where someone encounters Naklavi. I don't know. So I wrote down unknown witness because it reads like an actual thing that happened. So Ryan, when reading this, I want you to do a very awesome voice. Go.
Bloody hell. Bloody hell. They're nightmares. Been on watch 2 nights in a row. One just appeared. Right there. Right in front of me. 20 feet. Had to be at least 20 feet away. Towered into the sky. Got my flare to go off in time to see it pick up a couple wounded Jerrys in the mud. They don't have bloody skin. There's just muscle and fat. The thing on its back wasn't human. No way could it be human. Had no skin either. No legs. Just merged straight into the horse at the stomach. It took I took a couple shots at it with my rifle. Did absolutely nothing. Like I was shooting at it with a slingshot. It stopped soon as my flare reached at its highest point and turned. Looked straight down at me, both the horse and the thing on its back. It smiled.
Unknown witness. Oh, hey, dude. No, for real. Well done. Well done. Hold on.
Thank you. I was trying to do like a tougher Russell Crowe.
That was a performance. That was a freaking performance. Ugh.
Oh, we got it. Is this Naklavi as well?
This is Naklavi as well. So this is just a little bit more on the Naklavi. Yeah, I guess that's it. I don't know why I had to repeat that, Ryan.
No, the tale of Tamus is how I'm going to pronounce this.
Tomas.
Tomas?
Tomas.
All right, I'll go with Tomas. Late one night, and no doubt after a few shandies, an islander called Tomas was walking home by the light of a bright moon. He reached a section of the path with the sea on one side of him and a little freshwater loch on the other, when he suddenly stopped in his tracks. Something was moving towards him up ahead. Tomas thought it was somebody on horseback, but as it got closer, he started to realize it was far, far too big. Whatever it was, he had that cold dread down the back that told him it wasn't good. But with water on both sides of him, Tomas had nowhere to go but backwards, and there was no chance he was turning his back to this monster. He stood his ground and said a little prayer as he began to make out the horrible figure of the Naklavi before him. The wide mouth of the horse's head was sneering at him while steam belched out of it. Its single red eye stared right into him like fire. Tomas watched as the red, raw flesh writhed as this creature had been turned inside out. Even in the dim moonlight, he could make out the black blood pumping through its veins. Tomas's eyes kept moving over the beast, stuck fast with fear, as it steadily walked towards him. The head of the human-esque part of the monster was rolling around like it was going to fall off at any moment. The cold dread down his back had turned into pure ice as Tomas was shaking like a leaf. The only thing he knew was that Naklavi couldn't stand fresh water, so he forced his legs back towards the loch. As Tomas stood awaiting his fate, the horse head lowered down in line with his. Its vast jaws opened up like a terrifying yawn, and a hot stench filled his nose. Huge arms swung down to grab the terrified man, but he instinctively stepped back into the lock, splashing one of the horse's legs. The beast let out a horrible thundering snort as it stepped away from the water. The swooping hands just missed, dragging Tomas with them. He saw his chance, darting past, and with fear serving like a rocket up his backside, Tomas legged it along the edge of the lock. He knew there was little river up ahead, and he could make it that far, then the Naklavi would not dare follow. But he wasn't there yet, and the monster was hot on his heels. He could hear snorting and roaring behind him like a storm on his tail. Just as he reached the river, he felt more than saw the long, swinging arms coming for him, and he dove right into the water. Wading to the other side, Tomas looked back to see the Naklavi screeching on the other bank. As he panted for breath, he saw the only thing he had lost was his bonnet hanging from those enormous arms. There are plenty of dangerous creatures in Scottish folklore, but nothing, and I mean nothing, compares to the horrible, the terrifying, the downright evil Naklavi. If you ever do visit the Northern Isles, especially Orkney, then maybe you should wish for rain. One thing is for certain, don't mention the Naklavi's name out loud.
And there you have it. Our my number one pick, the Naklavi, the most creepy, demented, centaur-looking hellraiser creature that I've ever come across. What a creepy, creepy guy. But hey, was that, what do you think of the list? Are you happy with it? I'm hoping you are. But if you're not, you can totally yell at me and tell me how stupid I am by emailing us at earthlingentertainmentpodcast@gmail.com or hitting us up on Instagram or Facebook. That was our list, and that was our bonus episode. Did you guys have fun? Did you enjoy it? Well, you know what? We hope you did. Please download this episode. Downloading the episode is the best way to support the show. And we'll have another episode next week. I think we're covering freak shows next week, so that'll be fun. Make sure to check us out at the 3rd Annual Cryptids and Paranormal Conference. And from all of us here at Earthling Entertainment, see ya!
Coming June 7th, 2025, it's the 3rd Annual Cryptids and Paranormal Conference held at Our House. With guest speakers Ronnie LeBlanc, Expedition Bigfoot, paranormal researcher Lyle Blackburn, ghost hunter Ron Iacovetti, Dr. Jeff Meldrum, and from Phantoms and Monsters, Lon Strickler. That's June 7th, 2025. Our House, located at 420 Adelphia Road, Farmingdale, New Jersey. Tickets are $45, available at Eventbrite. We will see you there.